Hi everybody, I'm Tani and today I want to talk about the language of my people. And no, I don't mean Indian or Hindi or the 20,000 other languages and dialects spoken in my country. What I'm talking about is the unique language of the otakus of the world. The language that my people use to communicate with each other. And since the YouTube grind requires me to upload more frequently and Ruda requires me to make shorter videos, I thought why not make a simple video where I walk you through some words and terminologies used by your local anime fan on a regular basis. Number 1. Otaku. Otaku as a word is used to describe fellow fans of anime and manga. Albeit otaku culture in general has expanded into multiple different directions. But even though it is a word used to term an anime fan, it could actually be used to describe a geek of any kind. There could be a sports otaku, a music otaku, a food otaku. You get the gist. More often than not, otaku gets used as an insult. And sometimes it is. Going to use that as a transition to move on to our next word. Probably born in the boards of 4chan, this is a word that assholes used to describe perfectly normal otaku. What I mean is, this word has been misused so much. Weeaboo is a negative term used to describe a person with an unhealthy obsession with Japanese culture because they see Japan through anime colored glasses.
But those are dark glasses.
Anime is a dark, dark world, my friend.
On a slightly serious note, quick PSA. Stop confusing the words weeaboo and otaku. They're not the same. Stop clumping us together. Moving on to something lighter. Number 3. Shoujo. It technically means young girl, but in this case, it is a genre of anime and manga that is targeted towards young girls. It features traits like romance, manga, fantasy, and a very delicate art style. Those glitzy, frilly, pink, sparkly, magical girl stories, all of them fall under the shoujo category and are completely safe for children, especially cute little pigtailed girls to read and watch. Oh, speaking of shoujo, we've added you into the family! Number 4. Shonen. Just like shoujo, it technically means young boy, but in this case, it is a genre of anime and manga that is targeted towards, you guessed it, young boys. And because this is a category that's very specifically targeted towards boys, the distinction is made very clear by adding in violence, battle scenes, fight scenes, and the art style is definitely not delicate. Funnily enough, I've observed that regardless of gender, most children end up reading and watching more shonen stuff than shoujo. I don't know, at least that was the case with me. Number 5. Josei. Another one of many genres of anime and manga. These are stories that are targeted towards older teen girls or women. Yes! Who would have ever thought that anime and manga is not just for kids? Can you believe it? These stories, unlike shoujo, follow a more mature plotline but still maintain the general theme of romance, comedy, drama. Number 6. Seinen. I'm sure you're seeing a pattern by now. It's a genre of anime and manga targeted towards older teen boys and men. It's like you're not even listening to me. Number 7. Doujinshi, often shortened to doujin. This is a word for self-published work, which is a nice way of saying fanfiction. I mean, it could also refer to self-published works, but we all know what one means when they say doujin. By the way, speaking of doujins, I highly recommend the Toraburu or To Love Ru ones. But knowing you little pervs, you guys have already read it. Speaking of doujinshis, let's move on to our next word. Number 8. Yaoi. We're getting into the spicy stuff now. Yaoi is a genre of anime and manga that features homoerotic relations between two men. It's a public service done by women for women. Mostly. Most of yaoi stuff is generally authored by women, is what I was trying to say. Which is not surprising at all. Now, the word yaoi itself is mostly used for the hardcore stuff. For the lighter fluff stuff, as we like to call it, we generally go with the term shonenai. which literally translates to boy love. Yaoi is hella popular. In fact, it's so popular that the fandom has a title of its own. Which brings us to our next word. Number 9 and 10. Fujoshi and Fudanshi. Female fans of yaoi are called Fujoshi, which literally translates to rotten girl. And if you've seen even a little of the Fujoshi fandom, you will know why this is such an apt name. Not for me though. I'm an exception. These are girls that get excited, sometimes in more ways than one, when they're able to feast their eyes on two naked, super hot men going... What I was going to say was going ham at each other, but now it's way too awkward. But oh no. Don't think girls are the only ones salivating at the sight of two naked Ike men on top of each other. A rare species of men also like to indulge in this art form. This rare species is called Hudanshi, which, means rotten boy, but you get that. Now, since this species is so rare, little is known about them. But I can tell you for sure that they exist. This is an exclusive on my channel, people. Yes, they exist. I think there's also an anime about them, if I'm not wrong. Number 11, because I run out of fingers. Moving from something that is generally deemed to be disgusting to something that is universally accepted as the epitome of art. Yuri. And no, not Yuri Katsuki. Gosh, we've been deep in the Yuri on Ice hellhole for way too long. Yuri is a term similar to yaoi, but the homoerotic relations are between two women instead of two men. Or just between women in general, it gets a little complicated when you mention the numbers. But unlike the yaoi fandom, somehow liking Yuri does not make you a rotten person, because there is no word for the Yuri fandom. No titles one can call themselves to show off their Yuri pride. Sad. Whew, wow, we really leaned in on the cringe on this one. Number 12. OP and ED. Very basic, it's the opening and ending sequences that plays before and after an episode of an anime show. These sequences feature the credits to all the people who worked really hard in making the show come to life. But you don't really need to know that because you're gonna skip it anyway, right? Anyway, that's it for this video. It was quite a nice break from all the other heavily scripted stuff that we've done before. I guess this video is just basically a long blooper reel. That's what it feels like as we are shooting it. Not much of an outro either. I guess I'm just gonna stop here. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and I don't have anything to throw today. Bye!